with every piece, it feels like I'm kind of like decoding or uncovering all these like different layers within myself. So I grew up with my grandma and my mom and my sisters, and my grandma made clothes for her children, and my mom would make like Halloween costumes for my sisters and I. So I kind of grew up around my family members homemaking, but also kind of working with textiles and fabric themselves. Later on, when I got a little older, I bought my first sewing machine and started making handbags. And after that, I started hand stitching and hand embroidering on like vintage textiles and vintage clothes I would get from the thrift store. I think eventually I wanted to make more meaningful, like larger scale works. So I was researching old chain stitching machines, and I came across a video of someone using a touching machine, and I was like instantly intrigued. I never saw anything like that before. I didn't know those existed. And I liked the idea of using yarn as a material because I had been working with like fabric, and it felt comfortable and like familiar and like way less intimidating than like picking up a paintbrush. I've never painted or taken an art class really in my life, aside from like in grade school, but like nothing in college. Then I found this medium where like I'm making these like bold, sometimes large scale artworks where I feel like I can freely express myself. I've always been someone who just kind of observes and isn't very outwardly expressive, and now I have this like medium where I get to boldly express myself and I think like take risks that I probably normally wouldn't take. I'll like look at different colors, how they interact with each other, or how different textures interact with each other, and kind of just start experimenting on the piece itself. And I'm constantly like responding to how each fiber behaves and making decisions like based on that. A lot of the themes I explore or what I talk about in my work are like themes of softness and vulnerability, transformation, and becoming. And those are all things that I'm like currently living through. I'm like transforming from this like naturally introverted person to someone that is being more bold and taking more risks and being more outwardly like expressive. Like once you gather whatever materials or tools you're going to use, I would go in with an open mind and curiosity and just try to have fun in the studio. I feel like that's what works best for me.